Hi class, we're going to make Hollandaise sauce and Béarnaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce is the mother sauce, and Béarnaise sauce is a secondary sauce or a small sauce made from that. So for Hollandaise, we need 3 egg yolks. We're going to put these in a slope bottom, nice heavy gauge saucepan. This is important because we're going to make this over direct heat. A lot of times recipes for Hollandaise and Béarnaise call for it to be made over a double boiler. That's pretty slow. This is very fast and efficient. To those yolks, we're going to add about 1 ounce of water. So a couple tablespoons of water. We're going to whisk this together. We're not going to cook it yet. We want our clarified butter first. So I'm going to show you how to clarify butter. For 3 egg yolks, the ratio of clarified butter to that is a ½ pound of butter that's been clarified. So I had a ½ pound of butter here, and we're going to skim this. So let's see, do I have anything to skim this into? Let me just use a small pan. So the way this happens is, this was melted over a very low heat for a relatively long period of time. And what happens is these milk solids, salty milk solids, kind of come up to the top. And I can kind of just scoot them over like that, get them corralled, and then just get that spoon under there and scoop them up. Take them off like that. A lot of them will stick to the spoon as well. We don't need to get every little speck. We want to get most of it. If we can get 95%, that's a great deal. So a little bit more, we just about got it all. I don't want to lose a lot of the butter, the fat. So there we go. There's a little bit right there. I'm going to see if I can get that. It may want to sink to the bottom. Yeah, so there's going to be some salt solids on the bottom as well. But that looks good. That's clarified, and it's hot right now. I can't really quite touch the pan. So I'm going to let this set. When I add it to my yolks, once they've cooked a little bit, I want the butter to be warm, pretty warm, but not so hot that it's going to cause the yolks to cook more. So if it's too hot, your sauce will break. So that's a problem students have sometimes, so be aware of that. If it's too cold, like if it's room temp, it won't make a sauce either. So it needs to be warm. You should be able to touch the side of the pan, but that's about it. Okay, so in here again, 3 yolks and about 1 ounce of water, 2 tablespoons of water. This is going to get cooked over direct heat. So I'm gonna wait and tell you what else I've got going on here before I start that. So for Hollandaise, the flavoring agents are lemon, salt, and cayenne pepper. That's typically what goes in there. So I've got the juice of 1 lemon here, and I've got a little bit of cayenne pepper, and I've got salt here somewhere, a little bit of salt. So we'll have those ready. I'm going to divide this into 2. I'll put it in 2 plates. Half I'll turn into Hollandaise, the other half I'll turn into Béarnaise. And for Béarnaise sauce, it's a tarragon vinegar reduction, but there's more to it than that. We just call it a tarragon vinegar reduction. So we've got about 1/4 cup of white wine and about 1/4 cup of champagne vinegar, or white wine vinegar would work fine as well. I've got some tarragon here. It's nice fresh tarragon. I've got about 1 tablespoon in here. I just wanted you to see what it looks like. I'm going to add about half of it to that reduction, and I'm going to save the other half for the finished sauce. I've got half a minced shallot here. So that's going to go in. And some black pepper, a nice healthy pinch of black pepper. We're going to reduce this down to the point of au sec. So let that get reducing while I make the sauce. Let's see if this butter, I set it in a cooler spot, if it's starting to cool, almost touchable. But I think by the time we get the Hollandaise sauce done, it'll be fine. All right, so got a couple things going here. We've got a reduction happening. I need to keep an eye on that. That's for the béarnaise. And I'm going to cook the yolks here. So I'm going to move the camera here so you can see a little bit better, because this is important to see this as it cooks. Let me get this adjusted down onto that pan. Tipping this over all the way. And I'm going to bring it up a little more. Over. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to work. All right. So, once I get this going, I can't stop stirring. You got to really work it, all the sides. And with that water in there, it'll start to fluff up. It'll start to bubble up a little bit. So I've got this heat high. Typically, you would never see a recipe for hollandaise done over direct heat like this. But the key is the water. It kind of gets it so it starts an emulsification. That's a little bit high on the heat. I'm going to bring that down. Don't want it to cook too fast. It's okay to go fast, but you've really got to work on your whisking skills here. Sometimes over, sometimes under. Use different muscles. Shake that pan around. Make sure you get all the edges of it so none of it cooks. You can pull it off every now and then if you think it's getting too thick. But what I want is I want this to thicken up a little bit. So you can see I've got a nice foam and it's starting to thicken. So I'm just going to touch it back to the heat here briefly. And you see how that's thickening up nice? That's good. This goes off. All right, now it's off the heat. No more heat. Now I'm going to start adding the butter. Butter is a little bit on the warm side, so I'm going to add slowly. You can see that base is thickened up a bit, but you whisk while you drizzle that butter in. And it's just drizzled. So add it nice and slow. Just a few drops at a time. Stir all the parts of the pan. Keep that yolk mix moving well. Butter adding slowly, not too fast. This helps cool it a little bit too. And I'm watching my reduction here, which is very, very close. So I think I'm going to take a break from this and check my reduction just to make sure it's okay. I've almost got all that butter in. So that reduction, we can see it's down to just a couple of tablespoons. So just a little more. I'm going to turn this heat down. I'm going to reduce it a little bit more, but I don't want it to burn. All right, we're getting down here on the butter. So just drizzle that last little bit in, not too fast, keep it slow, keep it whisking. And when the water and the solids on the bottom start to come in, you don't want too much of that, so you can kind of slow down and stop and not add that last little bit. All right, there's the hollandaise. Beautiful consistency. I'm going to divide this into 2 plates. One will become, and when I say hollandaise, that's really a hollandaise base because it hasn't been flavored with the lemon or the salt or anything yet, and it's not béarnaise. It doesn't have that tarragon vinegar reduction. But there we go. That's lovely. That's what we're looking for. No more on that. The heat of the pan will probably reduce it enough. It'll be almost gone by the time I get to it. So I'm going to divide this into the 2 plates. All right. For hollandaise, lemon. I'm not quite going to add all that lemon because I've only got a half batch of hollandaise, or probably less than half a batch. So still a little in the pan. A little pinch of cayenne. And a little pinch of salt. And there's the hollandaise. That's good to go. Now for the béarnaise, collect this up. Pour that in and whisk as I go. Get that tarragon vinegar reduction in there. I like all the shallots in there. I like this sauce to have a little bit of some texture to it. And then the uncooked tarragon at the end. So you get this cooked tarragon and fresh tarragon flavor, which is really a nice combination. All right, so quality indicators on this. the Hollandaise should be lemony. It should be smooth. It should be rich. So let's see how this is. Yeah, super light. I get the salt. I get the lemon. I would actually like a little bit more lemon in here. I like my Hollandaise pretty lemony. So there you go. And then the Béarnaise. This should have a kick to it. This should have a good vinegar kick to it. It's almost setting up. It's just really, really nice consistency for this sauce. Béarnaise is a classic on filet mignon grilled. And yeah, it's got that vinegar kick to it. It's really nice. So, Hollandaise and Béarnaise, these are important sauces to make.